Hello everyone, this is Ming Zhong. Welcome to today's market analysis for the S&P 500 E-mini futures. In this video, I am going to show you a market recap from yesterday, plus a trade review in M3 that will include the entry, exit, and the rationale behind based on the sign of strength rally followed by a reaction, and it turned out to become a failure. So I think it will be very interesting to see how I actually manage this kind of the failure trade. And of course, I'm going to cover the bias going forward, the key levels to pay attention to, and most importantly is the potential setup for the US session later. So let's just begin now. As you can see on this daily chart here, so what's happening yesterday? Let me zoom in here. Yesterday we have a test day, a bearish day. As you can see, the prior day we have a strong bullish day up, and followed by yesterday as a test. I think the reaction just comes in the last hour. That should be triggered by some kind of the news related to the vaccine as well. And the volume is not too bad, slightly decreased compared to the prior day. And if I just zoom out a bit, you can see that we are still near the resistance area, the swing high at the 2965. We did have a false breakout or the uptrust during the London session, which I initiated a trade as shown in my video yesterday. And you can see that every time we approaching this level 2960 around there, then we have a reaction from here. So this day 30th of April, we have seen a reaction with increasing of the supply. You can see that the supply is increasing. And on this day 11th of May, or here 12th of May, we have also seen an increasing of a supply together with the results here. So here we go again. So we are approaching this 2960 level, and the reactions comes yesterday. As usual, we have seen some kind of the reaction, but it's not as bad as the two reaction before, comparing to 12th of May and also the 30th of April. So I viewed it as a bullish sign. Let me just get into H1 to elaborate a bit further. So you can see that on a H1 chart here, that's the London session. We have a breakout followed by a failure. So this is the uptrust action that I actually initiate a short entry. And subsequently, during the US session is pretty narrow range, a tight range, all the way into the last hour. Then we have seen a pickup of the supply level and followed by a sell-off. I think this is not too bad actually, because if you recall in my video yesterday, I talked about a potential long entry near 2920, which is somewhere around there. I think it's the orange line here, and that corresponds to this demand bar here. So this sell-off actually tested this demand bar, and during the Asian session today, it just recovered. So if we look at H4, you can see that. So this is the acceleration bar, or you can call it a breakout bar, where it actually broke out the 2890 or 2900 level. So this reaction actually tested this bar. So I'm not saying that we won't visit the low again. The swing low here, 2910, is one of the possibility, because we definitely can go into a deeper test to the 2900 level or even 2890, because it's still within the supporting area. 2890 to 29110 is one of the level that I pay attention to. So it's just like that yesterday reaction is triggered by news. So I think that it's not as bearish as I would imagine. based on the bearish results, followed by the morning recovery and into the London session. We just slightly, I think we are up a bit by 0.5% at the moment. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And let me get down to M3 to extract even more detail, so you can just realize that what's happening yesterday, especially during the London session, just right after the test or the break, the false breakout of the swing high at 2965. You can see that. So if I zoom out a bit, this is the uptrust or the false breakout that I talk about. If I highlight it here, so this is where I actually enter a short entry, which I already mentioned yesterday video, so I won't repeat that again. But you can see that from that uptrust we have a pretty sharp sell off, and that's going into about around 5 p.m. My time, GMT +8. So the downtrend here is actually broken, and we can just notice there is a change of character here, which is the largest upwave that we have ever seen within this down channel. So from there onwards, I expect a trading range, but the bias is still not clear. It could just go down to continue the sell off, or it could just break up. So at that point, the change of character followed by the trading range just set the tone or set the battlefield for the US session, which I actually initiate a trade. So talking about the trade review, I did have a trade yesterday. You can see that just within this range here, right after the opening, we have seen that the price actually just have a reaction, have a test of this swing low, and followed by a sign of strength rally. So I actually just treat this rally up as a sign of strength rally, because it's kind of like the greatest rally that we have ever seen within this trading range, and also it actually broke out from the trading range. And after the sign of strength, what I expect is a pullback or the backup action, which it did come. So we have this kind of the pullbacks, which acted as a backup or a last point of support. So the long entry that I initiated was just after the break of this downtrend line. So just at this bar here where I circle in golden here, and I put my stop loss just beneath the swing low here. And at that point, I actually anticipate a continuation of this reaccumulation area, so that it can just keep trending higher up and test it at least maybe 2960, 65, somewhere around there. But unfortunately, you can see that the price did go up, but just right after a breakout, we have seen that it just have some kind of a failure and subsequent tests, and we have seen even bigger bearish bar, bigger spread bar here. So I just think that this kind of trade is probably won't have a real breakout, so I just close and exit my long trade there. So it's only minor profit, probably around, yeah, it's definitely less than 1. I only get 0.5 R, but still I think it's a good trade because it actually follows my plan. I did trade according to what I interpret from the chart, and when I see this kind of failure, I exit. And of course I didn't exit it right at a high here, but I am quite happy to have this kind of trade. So I actually just follow my trading plan, and in the end, towards the end of the session, you can see that just near 3 p.m. or 3 a.m. My time here, you can see that the supply just pick up. We have an increasing of the supply followed by a sharp sell-off with a test and another sell-off to break the 2920 level. So, but you can see that during the morning, then we actually recover quite a lot. So that's the trade review in M3 for the yesterday's session. Okay, let me get back to the current situation. So what do we expect from now on? So we are reaching the swing level, the near 2960, and I think since we are expecting some reaction or the supply level there, then we just need to see some kind of the supply absorption that's shown up in both price and volume. What I want to see is where the volume just decreasing throughout, and the price, if we can just have some kind of the narrow range, maybe just consolidate a little bit there before it break out, followed by decreasing volume, then this is the kind of the signs that I'm actually looking for the supply absorption before it break out. Or of course it can just break out via the vertical absorption with a big spread bullish bar, just go all the way up to break out. But anyway, so this is a situation that I anticipate to look for more upside, because so far I think it's still not too bad, but if you compare it to Nasdaq, it's definitely a laggard. Nasdaq is the strongest or the leadership at the moment, but if Nasdaq were to test the all-time high, then I think it wouldn't be too far away for S&P 500 to test at least like 3050, the overbought of this up channel. So going forward, I actually expect some kind of the continuation or going up, and followed by a pullback, maybe something like this, go up and back up and continue to go higher. All right, so that's my view going forward. And currently my bias for day trading is today definitely is still up, but I am still looking for a reaction to happen, maybe a test of this swing low at 2910, and it can just go all the way back to maybe 2890. So it's somewhere around this region here, then I think it should provide some kind of the support from 2890 to 2910, and that's also coincide with the non-RTH low here. So if you can just bounce it up from there, I think it would be a great long entry for me. Otherwise, you can just have a test at 2920 level. So basically it's still around this region there. I would like to see a bounce up from there. And for resistance, immediate resistance that I pay attention to definitely is the swing high near 2960 level, or the swing high here at 2975. So if it can just break out, then definitely is 2980 first level, and 3050, which coincides with the overbought channel as well. So the immediate support level, as I mentioned, that will be 2920 or 2910 for this non-RTH low, and all the way back to 2890. So this should be the support levels that we pay attention to. And yeah, so the potential trade that I anticipate, as I mentioned, still the long entry. If I can see the bounce up from the support levels or support area around 2910, then I can just initiate a long entry to anticipate some kind of the continuation to the upside. Alright, so this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. If you like it, just click like and also hover it to my name and picture, so that you can just follow me, and also subscribe to my channel so that you can get instant notification of my future videos. So as usual, feel free to comment below if you have any kind of the questions, comments, suggestion, or any trade ideas you would like to share with me. Alright, so thanks for your time, and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.